Welcome back to the channel, Afterlife Restoration, for another exciting episode of Cemetery Rescue. I believe it's going to be like episode 9 or 10. I have to go back and recount. Anyways, so today we are going to reset this child's headstone. I didn't bring my camera yesterday, but I cleaned out a ton of landscaping just so, he's not forgotten anymore. I can't tell if it's a male or female headstone. It is exceedingly weathered. So before we reset it, we are just going to clean it with water only. And then I got some D2 spray in the mail. Did I bring it? No. So I got to come back, do some D2. But the plan of action is we're going to dig his base out, re-level it, put down some crushed gravel so the water's got somewhere to go. Then we got to chip out all the pre-existing stone before we mortar the headstone back in. So I brought a lot of tools with me today because I never know what I'm going to get into in this place. And we have a newspaper reporter from the Minden City Herald coming out today. So I thought it'd be fun. By the time she gets here, I should have all this prepped and everything. And I thought it'd be fun while she's interviewing me, watching me mortar it and set this headstone. Hopefully I know what I'm doing by now. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get to some action. So if you guys know me, usually I use a vinegar and water mixture. You can get away with that, but the vinegar has to be very diluted. But judging by the condition of the stone, I know the D2 spray is by far the best thing for it. All right, let's get to digging out that base. So that's a bigger base than what I would have thought for such a small headstone. Okay, we got it. Now time to dig down a little deeper, pour in our crushed gravel, get all them roots out of there, level it out, go from there. So judging by the break on the headstone and where the base lays, the headstone faces behind me. So on this side of the cemetery, all the headstones face that way. On the other side of the cemetery, they all face the opposite way. All right. Yeah, that would have been doomed to fail if we would have put the headstone, like if we were to put epoxy down and then put this on top. That would have just heartbreaking. So that's another reason why I don't want to clean the headstone with vinegar water mixture. But the D2 do nicely on it, and I'm thinking about maybe cleaning up that base a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, now time to put her in there. Now we have everything prepped. I'm gonna wait for the reporter to get here so I can give her a demonstration of how I mortar in headstones. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit because I'm sure she's gonna be taking my picture, and I'll show you guys some of the headstones that I uncovered. Well, I uncovered one of them yesterday, but it's pretty interesting. So let me get washed up and we'll head over there. This is my wash station setup. I got a tote full of ice cold hose water. It feels wonderful. And I got my little wash bucket. But hey, whatever works, right? I feel refreshed now. It's a squirrel over there screwing around. Okay, so yesterday I did quite a few hours of landscaping and then did some headstone hunting. Unfortunately, I didn't have my GoPro with me, but I did make a YouTube short and you can catch it on that. So this is Mina Moore. It looked like she died, I want to say like 1877. It's kind of hard. So before we even reset her headstone, this tree has to get removed. So we're going to be busting out the chainsaw for that when we get to this stone. Now I'm hoping to find the other two pieces that I've broken off. If not, it's going to take a lot of monument cement to patch that. But, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it. So right now I kind of want to, while we're waiting for the reporter, go hunt down a base of another headstone we can set, and then there's another headstone we can reset without having to use any mortar or anything. We just have to go get more crushed gravel. Good plan, let's do it. So the headstone base I'm trying to find today belongs to this lady right here. So we found her footstone, and the footstone is CCS. Now, not too far from where we found that footstone, there's a very large headstone with Catherine C., wife of Sly. So there's our CCS. Now, judging by where the footstone is and where there's another base, there's a base right here. Her footstone is right here. So right about where I am standing, if we dig it up, we might be able to locate a base or where the tablet at least broke off, and we might be able to re-epoxy. But we don't know until we start digging. Okay, so I don't know how bases just completely disappear like that. So the other option is we can get some actual concrete mix and make our own base. So yeah, it's a little more, I don't know, the amount of epoxy it would use to, I'm just thinking out loud here, but what we can do is make a concrete base for it, cement it in, bury it. So we might go with that. So judging by this break right here, it definitely broke off of a piece of that tablet's gotta be laying somewhere over there. So either we can keep searching for it, or we can just make a concrete base with a slot in it. So you make a box, pour in the concrete, make a little slot for this right here. We'll probably concrete it up to about right here, and that way it makes a fresh base, and it'll be a little cheaper than trying to epoxy this back together. I can't find where it broke off at, so yeah. Wait a minute. There is a couple of headstone pieces laying over here. Huh. It is possible this came from one of them. I don't know, let's lay it on the ground and see if we can get a match. Okay, piece number one. Oh, I think we might have a match. Okay, that could change the game up a little bit. So, wait, hold on a sec. Really? Oh boy, that is a big tablet. So at one point, tablets this large, from what I found out in the cemetery, were just buried so freaking deep without a base. So do we make a base for it, or epoxy all the pieces together and then rebury it? Either way, it's going to cost a couple of dollars, but it's pretty cool that I know those two pieces have been in my way while I was landscaping, and now I know where they go to. So we're going to leave it here laying like this, so hopefully anybody else that's coming along here don't mess with my pieces. So judging by that, I would have to keep digging and digging and digging and digging until I found out where this was. But thank God the footstone is there, so we know right where to put it. Let's move on to the next mystery. So another big undertaking project is all these busted up headstones and everything around here, and we got to piece them together. But before we work on that, we got a huge problem, and I'll show you what I mean. So before we can get all these headstones back together and reset them, we have to get rid of one big problem, and that is this tree. The reason why this tree has to go is because it's split in half up there and is dying, and we want our work to last, right? So we have to move all the headstones out of this area, document exactly where they go, drop this tree. This one right here, the tree is definitely going to want to fall on this headstone right here. So it's going to take probably a full day of excavating, getting all the headstones out of here. Oh boy, that's a big tree. So there's really no point of fixing all these headstones just for a tree to drop on it in the next decade. And who knows, I might not even be around to repair them again. So yeah, that's not an issue, because I was going to come over here and reset that one headstone. I'm like, what's the point? We're going to have to move it. So let's go find another project. Still waiting on the reporter. So I decided to locate where the base is for this broken tablet, and I'm pretty sure we found it. Alright, so that's what we're going to work on. We're going to work on extracting that, see if there's any more broken pieces in there we need to find, and then maybe we can do something about that broken tablet in a couple of weeks. I'm already getting worn out. Monuments one day,
old
like
style, you mean?
Yeah, like replicas. Yeah, of like the 1800 styles. Okay.
Okay, hang on. That cutter's bug spray was worthless. I'm going to move around here. I see you. I'm so afraid of ticks. That's why I was spraying and wearing long socks and jacket, because I'm afraid of ticks.
Yeah, mosquitoes are bad over here. They weren't too bad yesterday, but once I started chopping down their environment.
Well, plus the humidity's climbing. Okay, I'm going to get over your shoulder without getting...
Oh.
Okay.
So, now I take my level. That is pretty spot on.
You know that the level company was in Port Austin for years and years and years.
Oh, I didn't know
Wooden
that.
levels. Now there's now they reopened it, and now there's all different kinds of art vendors. tourist place.
Oh.
It's owned by Pax. That's the same guy who has the canoe or the...
Well, folks, there you have it. I'm going to wrap it up for this episode. The reporter just left after 2 hours. She is a very, very nice lady, and she writes very nice stuff about me, so we're just going to keep it at that. But it is getting really toasty out. I am ready to call it a day. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you are a current subscriber, I thank you so much for coming back and returning to watch my videos. If you're not a subscriber, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. You know, it's one tap, and guess what? It's always free. You got nothing to lose. But until then, there's plenty of work, plenty of projects to do around here to keep this channel going all the way until the snow starts falling. So I'll see you later.